Hello, it's good to have you join us again on this week's edition of Eyewitness Reports. I'm Yomi Otaibi. Joint efforts by residents of Oshorun Heritage Estate in Ikosi Sherry put a stop to lack of clean water in the area with a mini waterworks. Also, 16-year-old motorcycle mechanic braces the odds to step into a late father's shoes. These and more on this edition. Welcome to the program. Rural community development through self-help approach is an age-long social activity. The present realities and infrastructure in the country has made some people to take up responsibilities of finding solutions to their community development challenges. Well, that's the story of Oshorun Heritage Community in Ikosi Sherry area of Lagos State.
A survey conducted by the National Bureau of Statistics in 2019 and UNICEF shows that millions of households in Nigeria do not have access to clean water sources. 3 in 10 people still lack access to potable water. While the situation is peculiar to rural dwellers and the poor, those that can afford it are not left out sometimes. Most residents of Isheri community in Ikosi Isheri Local Council Development Area of Lagos State have suffered this challenge for a long time. For instance, over 3,000 residents of Oshorun Heritage Estate have been stalked by contamination of their groundwater by the Ogun River. Most of the boreholes are full of iron. The search for clean water in the area forced many to sink borehole in unusual places. Others seek the services of water tankers at exorbitant rates.
We had a general problem. The water in this area is very bad. You have iron, color and all. So we're able to discover good water along these axes. So we sank our borehole and discovered that the water was very, very okay. And then we now allowed, encourage our members to key into it. We paid some money and then pipe the water straight to individual houses. So we had a general water problem, but unfortunately the whole pipes went through the gutter, and we now found out that it's no longer hygienic. And then this environment to this particular place became a very bad scene. And so many people started doing their own personal boreholes because of one challenge or the other. So we had over 15 boreholes along this place. Even government officials came and found out that it was not also good for us to use our water, or it became an endangered environment for us.
In most cases, the system put in place, like this one, fails to meet the demand of water.
So if you check up, we have tank upstairs there. We did there two stories. So we have our water. The whole water was just channeled to that place to serve the entire estate.
So this one was not enough then?
No, it was not enough. And that was why that prompted individuals to now do their own personal boreholes. And so because sometimes no light. In fact, the major problem we had, or we currently still have, is light problem. So because when many people are pumping, for the water to go too far, it takes a lot of time. And before you know it, NEPA will take light. So we now bought our own individual generators, smaller generator. Some donated, some the estate we bought. But we found out that it was not still enough, because so many people, the agitation for water, keep increasing on daily basis.
The old water system is now replaced by a bigger and more befitting one. Residents decided to pool their financial resources to install a 60,000 litre capacity mini waterworks.
We see the pain of the different families that are using very bad water, iron contaminated water, bacteria contaminated water, and that's what they're drinking. And some of them are using on their clothes. Their clothes are dirty, their cars, vehicles are spoiled, just because we don't have good water in this area. And we thought it to ourselves in this particular administration and said that, look, we need to get water. I mean, if you see people, the water they are using is passing through dirty gutter and algae and bacteria through the gutter. We saw that this is very unhygienic, and that we should actually run standard pipes around the entire estate and do a very mini scheme water to supply the entire estate. The water has been tested. We have been sent to the laboratory at Oshodi. It's very drinkable. We can use it. It doesn't have iron content and all those bacteria and all that. It's very good for us. Of course, for each family, they can put in extra treatment if they want. But for me now, I'm confident to show you practically that this is a good water that we have gotten for our estate. It's going to supply the entire estate. This is the first phase of it. We have gotten over 60% of the estate done. The remaining 40% will be taken up by the coming administration to close out that one. But then everybody is getting water at this point in time.
2 boreholes are sunk in the area believed to be more reliable to generate the amount of water that can accommodate up to 300 households.
Each individual landlord contributed 130,000 naira each to accomplish this project, and altogether we have spent over 25 million naira on this project, including laying of pipes. That's a 4 inches pressure pipes around over 2,500 meters. That's 2.5 kilometers of our networks, plus another 500 meters to serve individual households. We have this pumping station. As you can see, we have 60,000 liter capacity ground tank. We have 2 booster pumps. Each of them is 15 horsepower pump. And because of the problem with electricity in this our area, we have to procure a 30 kVA standby generator to be able to drive this project, because we cannot rely on Ikeja electric power supply.
The pumping pressure is very high so that it can get to the extreme end of the estate. All right, that's okay. All right. I'm going to drink it to practicalize to everyone that this is a good water and it's going to be a blessing to this estate. Thank you.
The self-help project became necessary after several attempts by residents to get government attention to their plight failed.
We started by writing to government. We wanted government to help us with the water distribution, in fact, water corporation, to even bring water corporation to Isecom and then to this particular area. We beseeched them, we wrote to them year in, year out, 2, 3, 4 years down the line, and we noticed with that we can't continue.
Besides the mini waterworks, leaders of the community say they have been spending money on self-help projects like roads, electricity and security.
What we have done, almost 264 million naira road network that we have done around the entire estate. We have interlocked the estate, was primarily self-help. This place was a swamp. This place was water. You know, water that can get to your chest. That's the kind of place that we're with. This place I'm standing, if it was about 15 years ago or 10 years ago, you can't stand in this place. You will come out of this estate. So it was self-help. We have to tax ourselves, collected money to do the road network. Then we had another problem coming from the river. Ogun River, once they release it, it comes into their estate and people have to run away from this estate. So we saw that pressure and we have to do embankment. Government we called government, we put pressure group, we wrote for, but nobody supported us. So we had to run an embankment around the entire estate and run a perimeter to support our security in this estate. Because, there's a lot of security problem in this place. In this axis, there was a kidnapping almost about 4 or 5 years ago, and it was very massive. Why? Because there's no security, no single police station. I mean, some of these initiatives that we are doing, we need government to come and help us. Apart from the perimeter that we did, we also looked at even getting light. Light, we have to get transformer for ourselves. We wrote for almost 5 years to NEPA at that time to give us transformer. This is part of their own assets. But we didn't get any response. In fact, we are at the breaking point now that we will need, because the place is growing and a lot of people are moving in. So we need another transformer in this place. And we are about starting another pressure again, writing to government or writing to IKDC to give us transformer. That was one of the reasons why we are actually trying to engage government, the local government, and also some of these incoming influencers to be able to assist us and bring government presence into this environment. The mayoress.
The local government chairman, who's on ground to witness the occasion, had these to say about the alleged neglect by the government.
Well, I've not heard about that. When you come with us with a request or inform us with anything, it is our duty to quickly challenge and to quickly, hatch on wherever we had or inform. I've never heard. Even the one they even said today that something is happening in the area, this and that. I told them, this is what you have to do. Put it into writing and forward the petition or wherever you could call it to the local government. We will take it to the state government. The amiable governor of Lagos, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, is a listening governor. is a governor that once the chairman of a local government, any one of his chairman, requests or asks for anything, he will definitely, get an answer immediately.
At least 60% of the entire households in Oshorun Heritage Estate have been connected to clean water. Leaders of the community plan to expand the reach to others in the very near future. While community development involves the efforts of all, the Oshorun Mini Water Project should serve as a reminder to governments to take the welfare of the people seriously.
The amazing story of Toyin Atoyebi, a motorcycle mechanic and a generator repairer in Ilorin, Kwara State, rekindles our interest once again. The 16-year-old defied all odds to practice a male-dominated trade. With the death of her father who trained her and the need to take care of her old grandmother, Toyin has become a reference point and leading light to her peers.
This is Ofa Road in Ilorin, Kwara State. Our interest here is piqued by 16-year-old Toyin, a motorcycle and generator repairer. Although the environment of the one-room apartment where she lives is not conducive and attractive, she did not allow this to deter her from earning a living and catering to her family, including her old grandmother. The nearly 80-year-old grandma tells us how Toyin started following her father to the workshop from a very early age when they were still in the northern part of the country.
Her father told me that when she was around 2 years old, she was always fascinated by his tools. When they relocated from the north, we decided that she should understudy a few already established mechanics around, but they turned down the offers. With nowhere to go, she decided to continue working with her father, who later passed on.
From the early hours of the day, the girl mechanic sets out for work, which is about 5 minutes drive from her residence. Today, Toyin has become a model to other young girls in the area, says this neighbor, as she goes about her job diligently.
One thing with Toyin is that she doesn't feel ashamed of anywhere you take her to without uniform. If they can even organize youth, or we should be giving opportunity to go to any secondary school to gather, and she go there and let her speak with them. It's not every situation in life can turn you to be a prostitute or to turn you to be another thing. They should face and have that. They have it in mind that God, whatsoever they lay their hand on, that God will surely bring success out of it. That is what this girl is doing. She does not. There is nothing in this world that you can give her that can entice her.
However, since the demise of her father last year, who was also the breadwinner of the family, the responsibility of catering to the entire family has since shifted to the teenager.
I started this work at age 5. I was told by my dad that I always stay around him whenever he's working. And since then, I know I'm doing good. I'm doing very great in the work. And when we traveled down to Ilorin here, I've been, like, my daddy was quite sick. So I'm left alone to take care of him, work and feed him, my family and my brothers. And with a little money I earn from it, I sustain myself. I pay my dad drugs, fees for drugs, and most of things. I buy some things in school fees, a lot of things.
The love for the job since age 5, according to her, inspired her to carry on even after the death of her father.
My future plan is that I should study more and become a mechanical engineer. I want them to assist me in furthering my education and to gain more things about mechanical stuff. My advice to other girls and boys that is my age mate is that they should stick to everything they are doing, no matter how difficult it is. They should remember that it's okay not to be okay when it is apple and it's them bad.
She settles down to the day's activities. Anthony attends to a new customer who says he was attracted to her due to her commitment and determination to succeed.
Because of what I've been seeing her doing. So that was why I was so impressed. Because I can see she has a passion for the job. So that was why I brought this generator for her to repair. In fact, our whole life is an encouragement to others. They should learn from her. At least for somebody that has that determination to put these things in place, and from there it was. I mean, she's trying to do her best to get the best out of life. So I advise others to emulate her so that they can go far in life.
Even the motor mechanics around her attest to her doggedness and determination to succeed. The young girl, who is presently in senior secondary school in the state, aspires to become a mechanical engineer in future and would be glad to get the needed support to fulfill her wish.
Like Toyin Atoyebi, 19-year-old Babati Bileyi is also proven to be one of the many young Nigerians that could yield a lot of returns if properly groomed and given the right environment to build his talent. His skills for replicating inventions, however small, is worth noting. Let's meet the man whose desire is to launch the country into space.
Here I am to launch a rocket I just made to mark Nigeria's 60th independence anniversary.
Following this viral video of a young man launching his mini rocket to celebrate Nigeria's 60th independence anniversary. Channels TV Eyewitness Report crew visits his residence, tucked away in Maya, Imota area of Ikorodu.
How are you? I'm very happy to see you.
Babati Bileyi Dauni takes us to his room that he has converted to a workshop from where he fabricates most of his works.
I've been using it for a while because I just decided that because it's a lot of fun before I start getting another shop outside. Okay. So I just decided to use my room because this is my room. So this is the water fountain, as you can see here. This right here is the digital microscope, even a vacuum cleaner. And here is the rocket itself.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we want to take this out and see how that works. So,
this one I made it from the scratch. Even the pumping machine right here, I made everything from the scratch. Just some PVC pipe, as you can see. Here's the pump right here. So I just have to bring the power.
So that's the pumping machine?
Yeah, that's the pumping machine.
Can you tell us how it works?
Yeah, the water stays right here. The pumping machine then pumps the water to the top right here. Then it distributes the water back to the base here. So just do it continuously.
The 19-year-old 100-level political science student of the University of Ilorin, one after the other, presents some of his works, which include a water fountain, an electric microscope, and his mini rocket projects.
Some of the students now in school doesn't know that ants have 6 legs. So with the help of the thing, you can see the hair on the ant's body.
It demonstrates how they each operates.
people not to know where the water is coming from, and to make it look like a source of water from the mountain. So as I see, the stone makes it look like it's from a mountain.
Timilay, as he is fondly called, says his love for science and technology dates back to while he was in secondary school, and this has won him several laurels.
My most exciting moment was when I built the digital microscope and I was given award by different people. Even when I made the digital microscope and also the vacuum cleaner, both of them really make me excited. So those two, nothing can take them away from me.
As far as he's concerned, Nigeria has the wherewithal to launch its own space station and also win its many battles against insurgency by tapping into homegrown talents like him.
My dream is to be in the ISS, to have a space for Africa, for Africa's youth, to be able to build a rocket, to launch itself. And I want Nigeria to also be continental power, as in the continental power, like we supply every weapon used by the armies.
His father, Mr. Daomi, says Timilay's refusal to study law was a big blow to him personally.
Yes, in the area of disappointment, I will say when he refused to study law, I must confess. As a matter of fact, last year he was given a scholarship to study law at Atiba University, a private university. The admission letter is here with us. He said, "Daddy, I can never do well in law. Please, I am not going." I begged him, I even tricked him to say, "I will buy the XYZ for you." He came back to me and said, "Daddy, I have to go and pay for the hostel." To say, "After all, I've committed money into this thing, you have to go." He said no. So I felt so much disappointed. And but in the area of fulfillment for him, based on what he's doing, I now say the reason in what he's been telling me, that to say to the effect when he said I will not study law, he is into science-oriented courses like engineering, or So with that, from what he has been doing, I think I'm happy.
While he has since changed his mind about supporting his son's dream, he says he is sure he would go very far if he gets the right level of assistance.
We need somebody to put Nigeria militarily, that because from what he's exhibiting, a rocket for two purposes that he has told me. One is to ensure that that rocket can deliver military warhead into enemy territory. And when Nigeria is fighting Boko Haram for decades now. So that means if he's supported, we can press a button here in Lagos and we land in Sambisa. That one will reduce our foreign dependence on foreign countries in supplying weapons. And with African Nigerian made, it is adapted to Nigeria, and I believe it can work better. I believe then again, ISS, International Space Station, it appears that the whole Africa is looking. Every other country, they are taking their own share in ISS. Very soon, we'll become tenants when we get there. It is better for us to ensure that Africa as a whole, we come together, we pull up our resources together to ensure that we have a space there. Iran has a space. Israel, as small with 6 million population, they have a space there. Canada, Europe, Americans, China, Russia, they all have their own modules there in ISS. So I am of opinion that if we can support him, let him go to either US or wherever, to study aeronautic engineering and ensure that we can have our own space, International Space Station.
It's the day of little beginning that must not be despised. Precious metals are usually in the rough until refined. Timileyin, like many other talented young Nigerians, deserve a support system to make the most of what they have inside. Nigeria has a huge population of young people who are daily thriving to survive. Providing an environment that will help them hone their skills is how nations grow to become world leaders.
Join us on Eyewitness Report if you are keen on making a change in your neighborhood or locality. Take a picture or video of what's happening around you and post on the Eyewitness portal, which is available on the Channels TV app, downloadable from various online stores. Add your name, location, and phone number to enable us reach you easily. It's that simple. Your pictures and videos will go a long way to bring the desired change to your community. Here are some of the images sent to us last week by Eyewitness reporters.
We begin this segment with a video showing refuse dumped along Ogomba Road in Aja, Etiosa local government area of Lagos State. The sender of the video says the illegal act is carried out by motoring residents as they ply the road. While the reporter wants relevant agencies to extend the enforcement of environmental laws, he is appealing to the state government to put in place adequate means of refuse disposal for residents in the area. In this next video, the Eyewitness reporter captures motorists driving against traffic at the Chevron Drive end of Lekki-Ekpe Expressway. The reporter, who is seen held in gridlock, wonders why educated people deliberately violate traffic laws. Next are images of inner roads completed by local authorities in Koka Aguda Council Development Area. The sender appreciates the efforts of the council chairman and challenges other council chairmen to emulate this gesture by taking up the responsibility of infrastructure development instead of relying on the state government.
Interesting. Those are your shots. Do keep them coming. It's on that note that we draw the curtain on this edition of the program. Many thanks for staying with us. I am Yomi Otaibi. Bye for now.